Hey, it's Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we are taking a detailed look at the Arc'teryx Mantis 30 backpack, which I've been testing over the course of the last 3 weeks. If you like this video, make sure to like it and hit subscribe so we can keep bringing you content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. All right, taking a look at the outside of this bag, the first thing you'll notice is this top area here with these clips, and the water bottle just fell out. That happens a lot, actually. Actually, wow, this thing just came unclipped, which I had it clipped here because I was gonna show you earlier that it can help secure it, but apparently that can come unclipped on its own. But anyway, up here at the top, we've got these two little cinch areas that undo, and when you undo them, this whole top part flaps down. We'll get to this a little bit more later when we go into the main compartment, but I just wanted to show you what these two clips are for here. And then on the outside, we've got two water bottle pockets on the side too. They're not very, how do I put this? They're very stretchy, but they're just massive. So you can see this like ordinarily sized hydro flask. You're probably better off with an Nalgene in here. Ordinarily sized hydro flask here, it's just like super, super loose on the inside. I did put this bungee there because it can help keep that hydro flask in, but even still, it's a little weird. You have this bungee cable and it's like tightened, and if it's loose and it's clipped here, it can really just kind of like slide out. So I don't love that. I wish there was a way to like tighten this up even more. I mean, I guess you can tighten it like that, but even still, it has such a hard time getting a grip on the bottle and staying on the inside. So I don't love that. It's gonna work okay if you have a bigger bottle, or maybe you wanna stick larger items in here, like a tripod or something like that. But for a water bottle, it's just really not that great. And then this is what I had it just filtered, threaded through the top there. They're pretty much identical on each side as well. You got the stretchy mesh, which I dig the feel of this. I just think it's a little bit hard to utilize these bungees. You see on the other side, we have pretty much the exact same thing going on here with the bungee and the bottle pocket that is tightenable, with this, and then this can loosen up and you can lash things around. So I think it works a little bit better in concept than in practice here, at least from my experience with testing this bag. Despite these straps looking quite thin and small, Arc'teryx somehow does a great job at making things feel comfortable, even when the components are smaller and more lightweight. So very comfortable. Got this hook here on the top if you want to just hang this bag up. Two little itty bitty things here if you want to attach things to the front of your body with it. If you're hiking, things you want quick access to. We've got a sternum strap here with these thin paracords, similar to what we saw on the side water bottle pockets, which you can move around. And then, just fasten here with an ITW clip, which I dig. And then we have pretty standard adjusters down here at the bottom. And then you've got a waist strap as well down here if you want to attach and detach this. Not going to provide support in terms of like weight, but keeping the bag to your back can really help make things more comfortable. Got some mesh here for some breathability, both on the back of the straps. The foam here isn't that dense, but again, it's still comfortable. The only thing though, this bag is like a little bit floppy. So there's a very stiff frame sheet in the back here, but the rest is a little floppy. So the comfort kind of depends on how you have this loaded out. If you have it fully loaded with like camping gear, it's a lot more comfortable. If you're using it as like an everyday bag and it never really fully packs out, it's a little more floppy and a little less comfortable to use. It kind of flops around more. Mesh here for added breathability. Of course, we've got the Arc'teryx logo up here on the top, and there's a couple little air channels here too, since this is kind of a outdoor focused bag. So that helps with breathability. All right, so I've got the bag on here. It's not fully loaded out, so you can see it's a little bit floppy. But that frame sheet on my back combined with these straps, it's just so comfortable. I can barely feel it right here. Even though the straps look a little bit thin, it feels really nice. The sternum strap keeps things pulling together. And then I like that the bag, it's a little saggy in the back, but it does also sit pretty high. I do have these tightened quite a bit, and there's no strap keepers either, so they can kind of flail around. So that's something to note if you like strap keepers. And then for the waist belt, I don't really like these in general. I like more of like a padded hip belt, but this one feels pretty high compared to others I've tested. My belly button's like right here. So this is pretty uncomfortable. It feels more like a stomach belt for me than actually a waist strap that's helping keep this in place and support. Next up, we have secondary compartments. So let's start with this one in the front. There's a horizontal or a vertical zipper that comes down quite a bit, and you have a pretty spacious area up here. I've just got my tech pouch up here. There's a lot of space up here, but it's just one giant compartment. You know, this is really great for like stashing a jacket, like if you got a pouch in here, sticking it in here too, but very spacious compartment going across like pretty much the entire front of the bag. Closing that up. The next secondary compartment we have is at the top of the bag here. So this is another pretty big dump pocket. I've just got like my sunglasses, kind of my everyday carry items in here that I always take with me. Set those off to the side. You can see some pretty big space here too, and then we have some leader independence, so it goes up away from the bag on the top. One thing to note is if you have items in here that are heavy, it can kind of like flop down and bang down after you get these off. So this top part actually gets quite unwieldy. If I'm just sticking my tech pouch in there for like heaviness sake, it feels so clunky to like go back here. First of all, it's slow to go back here and undo this and then bring this down. I mean, that can get pretty heavy too, and you're just kind of dealing with this on the side, pulling this up and then opening it up. So overall, that access is just pretty slow. I'll get to the main compartment in a second, but I just wanted to show you that because there's another secondary compartment here as well. So that opens up. I've just got a hat in here and an air tag. But if you have a lot of heavy items in here, this thing just gets floppy and unwieldy pretty quickly. And then another thing to note is whatever you put in this top part can cut into the leader space of this bottom part, but not so much the reverse since there's extra fabric on the outside here on the top. Then another thing that I wanted to note that I noticed that's kind of cool is after this folds down, you've got kind of this secret little dump pocket down here at the bottom. So maybe if you have like gloves and a hat, that could work pretty well down here as well. Goes pretty much to the bottom of the bag, just right here to the end of that zipper. So you're really utilizing all that extra space, which I dig. Onto the main compartment, like we talked about earlier, I'm just gonna show you what it's like open and then show you how I close it, just so you can get an idea of the mechanic for that. There's this bungee that you just pull. I usually just stash this inside of here. I suppose you could just stuff it here at the bottom too, which I'll try. And then I kind of fold this over, and you can see that it's just sort of kludgy to fasten and close. And then sometimes if these come loose, you know, this top thing is kind of flapping all over, and it just gets really bizarre really quickly. I mean, it just looks funny. And one time I had it like too tight, I think, down here. So tight that it ended up, yeah, I mean, it's just all over the place here. I had it so tight on the side here that this part was kind of like sagging down, and then this top part was like exposed. Keep in mind I have the tech pouch in there, so if I take that out, it's gonna get a little easier to deal with. But again, just don't put heavy stuff on the top. But even still with that empty and this cinched down, you can kind of see this starting to flop forward a little bit and expose that back part. So really did not like the access when testing this thing. I found it to be slow and a little bit sloppy. Moving on to the inside of the main compartment, we open that up. That's kind of that drawstring mechanism that we saw, and it's basically a giant dump pocket. So I've just got a couple packing cubes down here on the inside. Pull those out, and then I'll just give you an idea. You know, it's a top-loading backpack. The bottom's pretty cavernous, and with it emptier, you're really starting to see how that structure, you know, or lack thereof, is sort of affecting this. So I'm just trying to open this up and let you look inside, which I guess is a good thing, you know, if you want it a little bit lighter and you really want to fill it out with like camping gear, hiking gear, things like that. But for like everyday use, it's just not the best. And then we've got this top pocket here. And this is actually a spot where I just have some more quick access items inside there. So just glasses, case, keys. There's a little key clip here as well, which I dig. Standard plastic, nothing too special there. But that works out relatively well. I like when bags have a little bit better key clips than this. I mean, an Arc'teryx, I want a little bit more if I'm paying, you know, this much money for the bag. So that's something to note. The components are like usually hit or miss, I think, on Arc'teryx. Like the straps, amazing, feels super comfortable. Key clip, not so much. Then we have like a little like toggle up here for like water bladder as well, like a hose if you want to go that route and use that. And then down at the bottom here, you can see this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So water bladder definitely works well in here. This top part Velcros open so you can feed that through from the bottom here. But if you want to put your laptop in here, it does get a little bit weird. So you got to kind of move this top part out of the way or have it empty, and then you pull your laptop out. So probably better for a water bladder than a laptop in that pouch. And yeah, the rest is pretty much, you know, wide open. You can also access the main compartment through this zippered pocket here. So if you want quicker access to it, I mean, I get it why they do that. It just like is faster, but it's kind of like, you know, compared to that top access, this side one's a lot quicker and faster. And it's kind of like, I don't know why the top access isn't a little bit quicker too. Based on the way it's designed, because it's not like it's like waterproof on the inside either with this top loader. You know, there is a zipper here, water can seep through. So yeah, that pretty much covers the main main compartment of the bag. So there you have it, the Arc'teryx Mantis 30 backpack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.